motivating and engaging our people every step of the way.
Kronos, HR solutions for the modern workforce and the people who support them. Learn more at kronos.com/HR swagger.
I'm on the top, I'm gonna rise up. I'm on the top, I'm gonna rise up. I'm on the top.
I thought I was too old.
I thought I was too young.
I didn't think I had what it takes.
How would I find the time?
I figured I'd get around to it someday.
Besides, it's probably too expensive.
Too difficult.
Too complicated.
Then one day I sat down at the piano.
Drums.
The keyboard.
Guitar.
Bass.
Ukulele.
I went into a music store and tried some percussion.
Tried a clarinet.
A sax.
And I learned a few simple notes.
Simple chords.
Simple rhythms.
Before I knew it,
I could actually play a song.
A pretty simple one, but I did it. Me. I couldn't believe it.
why make excuses when you can make music?
Why wait?
Just play.
This message brought to you by the NAM Foundation.
Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever.
Budweiser wants you to drink wiser. And here's the thing, 74% of you already choose to stay in control instead of overdoing it when you're out with friends. So order a cheeseburger before a big night. Have a glass of water alongside your beer. The good news is that most of you are already making the right choice. But what would be even better is for everyone to drink wiser. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN Radio is taking over ESPN News. You can now watch your favorite radio shows all in one place. From Golic and Wingo.
Oh, yeah!
To the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz.
All right, I'm available every day, thanks.
To the Stephen A. Smith Show.
I just don't understand this guy.
To the Will Kane Show.
It's my job to tell the truth.
From morning to night, the best of ESPN Radio is now available on ESPN News.
Talk football every day at noon with Pensacola's own legendary Coach K on your radio, on Facebook, and on YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 945.
Welcome back. It's been a busy show. A lot of great guests and some pretty unbelievable calls, and I mean unbelievable. Let's go back to the calls right now, and Mark is calling next. Hey, Mark. Mark, you there? Mark is not there. Sorry about that. Chris is in Raleigh. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
We are well.
Good. I appreciate you let people have their say. It's important for people to be heard.
Thank you.
Anyway, with the July 4th coming up, I want to give a shout-out to my dad and my 6 uncles who all fought in World War II. My dad, who's got me interested in college football, taking me to games at Clemson, early 60s when Frank Howard was the coach. My good friend Hoyt Tester and I were talking. Do you see anybody beating Alabama that doesn't have an elite quarterback in the SEC this year?
No, and I say that because you go back. I don't want to use history as a judge here, but usually that's what does Alabama in. I think the only time Alabama has lost a game. Alabama lost to Auburn 2 years ago. I would not say Stidham was an elite quarterback. He was a good quarterback. But the biggest issue in that game was Alabama's defense. They were so banged up, and they got those players back, most of them for the Clemson game.
Right.
But Yeah, I mean, if you look at Alabama's games, is Bentley good enough to beat them? I don't think so. He's good. He's not great. Then you go to Kellen Mond. I think Kellen Mond's an underrated quarterback. And then you have Fromm.
I think the two best shots at it is Kellen Mond at Texas A&M and Fromm. I like to call him Jake Fromm from State Farm, but at Georgia, South Carolina beat him with Garcia, but Garcia had a unusual game.
That was
Manziel.
I talked to Spurrier about that not long ago, and even 9 years later, I don't think he can believe that game. I mean, Garcia was insane, and that happens very rarely, but it happened that day.
Yeah, I don't see with Alabama's defense reloading, and they are reloading.
No doubt.
It's going to be tough to beat them. Hey, I figured out our wager for the Clown Conference. The best 2 out of 3. So I think Miami loses to Florida. I think North Carolina beats South Carolina.
Wow.
Comes down to Texas A&M at Clemson. So here's my wager. If you get 2 out of 3, I'm going to provide you 7 days at Sheriff Baker's jail in Wake County, all meals included. What are you putting on the table?
That's funny. I was actually texting with Mac Brown the other night, and don't let him know that's at stake. I'll put whatever up you want. I mean, I feel that confident. You.
How about a steak dinner in Charlotte?
You got it. Okay. That I can handle.
We're on.
Well, I look forward to it very much.
Good talk to you. Hey, thanks for being an oasis in the desert of the summer without college football.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, thanks. Bye.
Very good call. Let's try Mark again. He'd been waiting, and then we lost him. Mark, are you back?
Hey, Paul, can you hear me now?
I can. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. I really want to say, on behalf of Georgia Nation, it's embarrassing that Daryl from Columbus is pretty much our voice on here. Here's why I say this. Because my first games, Dooley was patrolling the sidelines, golf. Me and my buddies, we was old enough to get dropped off in front of the stadium, and we watched the first quarter from the bridge, and then and we knew to throw the football down there by the gate because the ushers would let us in. And guess what color them ushers were? They were black.
Wow.
They were black. And you know what? That went on for years, Paul. And that comment that Daryl made, who do you see in the stands? Who do you see in the stands? He's so full of crap, Paul. Man, I got 30-year-old lifelong friends, my Georgia friends, that we tailgate with, and it's a 6 days out the year. I know where I can go get an all you can eat buffet, and they got satellite TVs and Daryl don't understand his own freaking fan base, man. Daryl goes to maybe one game every year. I've been going to these games all my life, Paul. And that comment he made, it hurt me. It hurt the Georgia fan base.
Mark, I hate to interrupt. We have to go, but thank you very much for sharing that. We still have an hour to go if you want to jump on board here at 855-242-7285.
Your old gas yard tools may have met their match. Right now, the Home Depot has up to $30 off select Ryobi 40-volt outdoor power tools, like the Ryobi Jet Fan Blower at a special buy of just $129. It has the power of gas without the hassle, a turbo boost for more airflow, and right now, a price no one can match. Today is the day for doing. Up to $30 off Ryobi outdoor power tools. Red, white, and blue savings, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. While supplies last.
Is the car you're driving 2012 or newer? If so, here's something you need to know. Today's newer engines run hotter, making them more vulnerable to carbon buildup, which could affect engine performance. Protect your engine with new Valvoline Modern Engine Full Synthetic, specially formulated to protect cars built 2012 or newer from carbon buildup. Learn more at modernoil.com. Valvoline, since 1866. Visit AutoZone now. Buy 5 quarts of Valvoline Modern Engine Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $35.99. See store for restrictions and details.
I'm Barry Cole, owner of Beret Jewelers. What do you think when you hear 60 to 70% off diamonds? If you're equipped with a good truth filter, a loud alarm goes off in your head and screams, mark up to mark down, mark up to mark down. At Beret Jewelers, we don't mark it up to mark it down, but I promise you we will always be the lowest price on comparable quality diamonds and jewelry. You don't stick around for 32 years unless you've done just that. Like people, diamonds have levels of integrity. Our job at Beret Jewelers is to find you that perfect diamond with strong levels of integrity, diamonds that are properly graded and beautifully cut so many years down the road it shimmers, shines, and stands out in a crowd. Sometimes the hidden treasure is right in your backyard, and for diamonds and jewelry, it's here at Beret Jewelers, brand new location next to Bonefish Grill on 12th Avenue or in Gulf Breeze. I'm Barry Cole from Beret Jewelers, and I want to be your jeweler.
If you have over $10,000 in credit card debt and are behind on your monthly payments, you need to make this free call right now. 800-428-4187. When you call the Stop Debt Hotline, you're taking the first steps for help. Debt specialists are part of a real team who will help you with all of your options. You could stop the collection calls and letters forever by calling the completely confidential toll-free number right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can handle your debt forever. Imagine no more late nights and no more debt. Don't try to face your creditors alone. Call the Stop Debt Hotline right now. 800-428-4187. 800-428-4187. Get free information now by calling the Stop Debt Hotline. 800-428-4187. Non-attorney spokesperson paid for by Debt Resolution Helpline. 102 Northeast 2nd Street, number 183, Boca Raton, Florida, 33432.
ESPN Pensacola 94.5 is locally owned by the ADX Communications Group. That includes News Radio 92.3 and AM 1620, Cat Country 98.7 and 1330 WEBY 99.1 FM. This means that we have the staff, the experience, and the generators to get you through the storm before, during, and after. We care, and we're ready because we're local. ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
Well, here we are again, and I got to tell you, Jim, this match has me really concerned.
Here we have a powerful heavyweight, a train, weighing in at 6,000 tons. And this hasty lightweight challenger, a car, at just 1.5 tons?
This does not bode well for the car, or the people in it.
It's no contest. Every day, people are injured or killed trying to beat a train at rail crossings. See tracks, think train.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and ESPNpensacola.com.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brilliante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
All sports.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
Dropping Gannon, looking Gannon, throws up the middle. At the 40, Derek Brooks 30, Brooks to the 29, he's getting Derek Brooks all the way. Touchdown! touchdown Tampa Bay. Derek Brooks, the dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Bubba Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That's back to the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end call. That opens up the door. Breaking the Kendricks tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball is that big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. Reggie Evans, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Brillante. Glad to be with you here on this just lovely and beautiful Tuesday here. I'm wearing a tropical Tommy Bahama shirt. This is not. I did not pay for this. This is from my uncle. This is actually the pure Tommy Bahama here. This is not off like one of those tropical racks that looks $9.99.
Like
this
is
is
a pop top and blew out your flip flop.
Well, I was gonna say this is the real deal here. Okay. These are the guys that are hanging out with their granddaughters down in South Florida. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the real stuff here. So we're having some fun here. But I thought I was going to let's get tropical, like back in the day for the semi-pro. Yeah. Let's get ELE, everybody. Everybody loves everybody. You're right there. There's a live bear. Everybody don't freak out. No, one of the more underrated for some of the classes. Like, there was a lot of crap in that movie, but semi-pro had about 15 to 20 lines that were pretty awesome right there with Jackie Moon.
Got to love the granny free throws, too.
He's waiting 15 minutes right there to shoot. Nothing like the Flint Tropics right there. And how about America, the United States getting it done? How about it? It was a nice win. I was watching the game, actually pulled over to a local establishment, and it's an appropriate establishment, just not one of our sponsors. But I pulled in and started to watch the game and realized that we were in just a war. I mean, it was back and forth. There was penalties, and then the weather kicked in, and the satellites at that local place did not have too much fun. So this one dude, I didn't know he was about to get like World War Z'd. All of a sudden, everybody was like all around him as we used his phone to watch the penalties. Like, oh my God, it's a red card! Everybody like freaked out, but held off 2-1, beat England. Obviously, nobody in England is disappointed, I'm sure, that they lost today in any type of soccer. I mean, they're like, we got better things to do. We got work. And
clearly, I'm sure haven't been on Twitter lately.
I'm just kidding. But they're probably a little bit ticked off after what was a very controversial call, too. I watched it live, and it looked like a goal. It was a sweet goal, but apparently they went back. They did like some kind of Matrix movie kind of sign.
Yeah.
I learned something. That just like whoop, 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 which means that they were offsides. And the next thing you know, United States wins. We'll take it.
Millimeters. She's offside by millimeters. But, again, like you said.
Did you watch it? Were you watching it?
I
okay,
did,
all right.
Yeah.
In regular time, I thought it was good.
Yeah, and then as many times as I watched the replay, both from that and then on Twitter, it was millimeters. It was very close. I mean, it could have gone either way, but they called it in our favor. So
we'll take it. And like I said, as a New England Patriot fan, sort of our motto has been, we will take it. So one of those kind of things where, at the end of the day, I think we
we got to feel pretty excited and pretty glad that we're able to go out there and get the job done. 850-972-1945 is the number. 850-972-1945 is the number to be part of the show as we take a look here at some of the other headlines. Kawhi Leonard, as everybody waits. There has never been a guy in sports that I remember that controls more of a path. Like right now, he's sitting at home. Not only is he the champion, not only is he the champion of a team, but of a continent.
Yeah.
Of a continent that stopped what they're doing to have Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park used to be about a guy in a white outfit, sort of what I'm wearing today, walking with a cane going, welcome to Jurassic Park.
I saw Kawhi Leonard in downtown Pensacola on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a robotic velociraptor.
That's right. I saw it with a bobblehead guy. But here's the thing about you, Kawhi Leonard. There's never been anybody in the history of sports that has more control over the future of your sport.
That's true, yeah.
Right now, you already know that the juggernaut of if Kevin Durant, take my strong leg, if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving can go out there in Brooklyn, where Brooklyn at? Well, we'll see where Brooklyn at. If he goes to L.A., if he plays with the Lakers, doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't. If you put Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis, you can put my great aunt Chaps in there, and she can just throw alley-oops all day. And she actually does have a peg leg and an eye patch, and she can throw. This might be the character of Peg Leg Pete's, but it can just throw alley-oops to these guys the entire game and win.
Yeah,
I think it would be actually funnier to have like a playing guy of the week. His name is Jerry Stevens. He's a CPA from over in Fargo, North Dakota, and he wins. 5'6", 175 pounds. He's 56 and balding, but folks, he is get the fifth spot today on the LA Lakers roster. Let's go up for Jerry. All right, thank you. Like, it does not matter who you put out there with LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Anthony Davis. You're going to win.
It's true. Yeah.
If you start losing with that roster, you get a week as a head coach and you get fired. I mean, if you don't start winning with that roster, adios, because you're doing something wrong.
Speaking as a Laker fan, and I think I can speak for all Laker fans.
Are you really a Laker fan?
Yeah, I am. Lifelong Laker fan. So even still through all the crappy years, still a proud Laker fan. And
sorry, just threw up a little.
And it's been so down that honestly, I think Laker fans want something like a team like LeBron, AD, and Kawhi all together because there's not been really much to cheer for in LA except for cheering for the Clippers when they get knocked out of the playoffs. And the Lakers want to be that team that gets back into the postseason and is playing for NBA Finals once again. So they need those guys to do it. So,
I mean, if you're
I can understand where people are like, well, why even watch basketball if that's the team that's out in LA? Of course they're going to win it all. But
there's injuries. That's what people would have said with Golden State
exactly.
and DeMarcus.
Look what happened. Toronto came out of nowhere this past season. So
very
I think
rare.
You still watch,
the team that is expected to win in sports wins.
Yeah.
Outside of the Patriots.
Yeah, I was going to say
outside of New England. And UCF has their own claim to fake national titles. They're pretty much on another path this year. I think, as long as we can coast, we don't have any competition in that market right now.
You got Stanford this year, so that's going to be tough.
They don't really claim it. They're just, I'm just saying. Right. They know they're in a big division. They get beat. And they've got some losses. There's been no other team in all of college football. There has been no team, by the way, outside of UCF. I want to make this clear to everybody. Like, oh, crap, he's down this road again. There's been no team in the last 2 years in college football that has gone undefeated in the regular season outside of the UCF Knights.
That's true.
That's all we're leaving with.
That's
all we're. So if we want to claim it, that's all I'm saying. Play somebody. Yeah, I'm just giving you a fact. You take that, do what you want. You go right in the trash, recycling, wherever you want to put it. Only team in the last 2 seasons that has been undefeated in the regular season.
I will say this:
23-0 because of a hurricane game.
You have Stanford on the schedule this year, and that is a step up in competition. So that's nice to see.
Never wanted to save trees.
Hopefully, that is one that can kind of keep happening.
As you can tell with the show, I really like paper.
Started the rivalry already.
This is part of the rivalry. Just destroying. This thing could have been printed on 12 font, and this is a list of Forbes magazine's top 50 most valuable teams. 17 sheets right here.
I love how you did it landscape.
Oh, sideways. Yeah. This is part of Stanford's act right here. It's all part of it. Sister Act, Stanford Act. Okay. Looking at the win, though, for the United States, they did it without Megan Rapinoe, too, their #1 player, which is awesome. I mean, that's pretty cool to do. To show I guess I was about to say show cojones on that. That's the wrong word on this one. To show the strength of a team, the power of the team to go out there and be able to go out there and win without your number one player is pretty awesome. They got it done 2-1 against England. It was not easy. If anybody watched the game, at the end of the game, there was a number of plays, including one that England scored a goal. It went 2-2, but they took it away after it was the first review that they had. I mean, and it looked very close, but we will take it. And a nice win overall. Rafael Nadal, by the way, beat up on Sugita.
Probably that much. About that much.
Just inches.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we all? You just wake up just inches away from success. Sugita is the name. Sugita, everybody's favorite Japanese player that lost in straight sets today from Rafael Nadal. We're moving on from here. Ben Simmons, $170 million deal. How about it? There should be a thing in a stipulation in your contract. He has to make 7 wide-open jumpers in order to get that. Look, the guy is talented, but he actually had the worst ever. For a guy that was an elite player, an all-star, he had the worst plus-minus ratio. And if you're like, well, I don't know what that stat is, it's pretty clear that plus-minus is important. That means when you're on the court, if you have a plus, that means your team is doing well. If you have a minus, it means your team's not doing well. He had a negative 56 during the course of the playoffs. And when he was off, T.J. McConnell, little Mexican jumping bean. He's not Mexican, by the way. But he's just a guy that was just jumping around, 6 foot, nobody really paid attention to, was plus 48.
Right.
So you have a guy that is an all-star, everybody loves, can dunk from anywhere at minus 56. But this guy that comes in after you clearly is doing better. And I know he's going against some of the backups compared to you, but at the same time, like, you're not worth that type of money to me if you're not getting it done in the big moment. And he's never proven it. This is not one of these kind of guys that has a couple of rings and is trying to get one. He has 0 rings. And their team lost in a pivotal Game 7 where he did not step up against Toronto. $170 million max offer for somebody like that is called welcome to the NBA, because if they don't pay him, somebody else will. That's the NBA today, is they're not giving people that deserve the money. They're giving people because they know if they don't, somebody else will. Same with quarterbacks in the NFL. That's how it works. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't earn 7-year, $126 million. He didn't do anything to earn that contract.
Not really.
It was actually more than that. It was like $150 million. He played 7 games in his career. Here's a quick math fact for you. 7 games is less than half an NFL season. So if I went up to you and was like, hey, what's up? What up, Jay Glass? That's what we do on the weekends. Yeah. What's up, Jay Glass? I'm going to give you a guy. I'm going to give him about $24 million a year for. He's never actually finished a season. Well, he's never even finished half a season. He's got no playoffs, nothing. He's never even been a starter. He's been a backup for an injured guy. Let's pay him $25 a year. Like, get out of my office. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what he got. That's the thing, is the NFL today is going down a path where if you don't pay him, somebody else will. And he showed the potential. Garoppolo. Sounds like something you get checked at the infirmary in college. Son, sit down. We've checked the stats, the reports. You're not going to want to hear this, but you have Garoppolo. I didn't even sleep. But sometimes you realize, though, Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy that hadn't proven anything, and he got that opportunity. That's what we got to realize in sports today, is we're paying off potential, and if we don't pay him, somebody else will have him, the value. That's a wrong way to look at dating. If you ever like, well, if I can't have this, I'm going to marry her because I know my neighbor's been looking at her. Like, that's the wrong path. If you're going down that path, you quickly might want to find a good divorce attorney, because it's not going to last more than like a week if you're like, I just don't want any of my friends to have her. She's very pretty. I don't know if I just, but you're not getting her. Come on. Like, it's not a commodity, son. Like, that's the thing, is what's happening in sports. We're paying people based on that we don't want other teams to have them and get better. But Ben Simmons is not worth a max contract in the NBA.
Not even
at
close.
all. Not even close. Yeah. But he's getting one. And so will a bunch of other guys in the NBA today, because that's where we go. I wish we had a show where, like you do the shows where you con people into believing that, they're on a certain show, but they're not. Carbonara effect. You know what I'm saying? The Carbonara.
Right,
that's
yeah.
great. sir, you're on a reality. That's a rock. That's not a frog. Like, these people get completely fooled in a magic trick. Now, the difference, though, they should do a show with former athletes in sports that have been conned into thinking that there is some kind of thing where they're going to get paid a portion of the new NBA salaries. Because, son, sit down. I know you made $650,000. You averaged 20 and 13 a game. Incredible year, MVP year. $650,000. Nice money. You got a house. Invested a little. Didn't go out and use it all in Vegas. Sorry, Antoine Walker. But at the same time, this guy will make about $450,000 a game. And he'll be a bench player. And he'll average 4 points a game. We're going to give you a piece of that. How does that feel? Thank God. I've been waiting. Not just kidding with you, man. This guy's just taking all of the money. There was a guy last year that averaged 1.2 points a game and made $18 million. Timofey Mozgov has not even played in the NBA in a year and a half and is still going to make $15.6 million next year. So next time you think about life not being fair, get a nice big fat head, if they sell, of Timofey Mozgov, who's 7'2", Russian. You might need some Stoli afterwards. And just look and say, this guy has made $15.6 million, $31.2 million the last 2 seasons for putting in 3 baskets. And then your life, you just feel a lot worse. If this is a motivation, I'm the opposite. I'm the reverse Tony Robbins here. I'm just making you feel even worse that this guy be like, man, I made 2 shots at the Y last week. $31.2 million is what he made for 3 baskets. On that note, let's go ahead and take a break as we all take a sigh of our life is a lot worse than Timofey Mozgov.
What does building a better bank look like? It starts with building Capital One cafes, warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank, where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Cafes available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
Hey, this is Cole from Commander Air, and we're your local Daikin Comfort pros. Trust is hard to come by these days. At Commander Air, we have over 54 years of building and earning your trust. From each trained, certified technician to the state-of-the-art Daikin units we install, Daikin systems come with a trustworthy 12-year parts warranty. Commander Air has 3 generations of trust built on dependability, knowledge, and outstanding service. Come check out our new AC showroom at the intersection of Highway 29 and 9 Mile Road. Commander Air, your hometown heating and cooling specialist for 3 generations.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, CraneWorks. The CraneWorks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give CraneWorks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call CraneWorks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
Hi, this is Thane Taylor from the Sleep Center. For over 20 years now, the Sleep Center has been known as Pensacola's mattress experts. But did you know that the Sleep Center is also Pensacola's adjustable bed, futon, cabinet bed, and beanbag experts? The Sleep Center opened in Pensacola in 1995 with the main goal of being the area's one-stop shop for all your bedding needs. Since then, we have become Pensacola's oldest and largest bedding superstore and have the highest Google rating of any store on the Gulf Coast. So if you want better sleep without all the fuss, come to the Sleep Center and leave the rest to us.
The gong, an instrument used to start a sumo wrestling match. At My Computer Career, it celebrates the start of a student's new life as an IT professional and completion of a student journey focused on the result, getting you out of an unrewarding job and into an IT career in as little as 4 months, even with zero IT experience. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science, you know. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
And welcome back, Sports Drive with you right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Hope you have enjoyed the show so far. Our grand 20 minutes of letting you know Team USA won as well. You've got some NBA free agent moves. We're all just waiting for Kawhi Leonard. 52 days
Can't
until
spell Leonard without L.A.
That's okay.
Just calling it now.
That's right.
Clippers or Lakers, he's going to L.A. either way.
And in Wyoming, it is illegal to use a firearm on a fish.
There you go.
There you go, by the way. If you ever know that, we're just going to, like, subliminally – I'll never forget that watching Saturday Night Live as a kid. And Kevin Nealon, it was the World Series, and New York was in it. And it was Saturday Night Live. This was not one of those taped ones, which it seems every week is. You're like, oh, it's live, honey. Be like, that actor's been dead for 3 years.
Right.
But, like, okay, so you have Saturday Night Live where you don't get reruns of the Hanson brothers performing. And Kevin Nealon comes on there and he goes, I've got a final score of the World Series. So like the people that weren't sports fans are watching and they're like, ah. And he goes, 3-2. All right, let's go back to and everyone's like, wow. Like just classic Kevin Nealon, not giving you anything outside of a score, but not who won. But we're just going to subliminally just throw in the most ridiculous rule. So we'll be in the middle of like, Jordan, what do you think? Can Kawhi really go out to L.A. and make an impact when in Hawaii you can't have more than one alcohol beverage in front of you or it's illegal?
That's just wrong.
That is. Well, I mean, yeah, but here's the thing. You don't have to have all those drinks because in Hawaii, at any time you can get laid. I mean,
fair point.
Today, tropical Tuesdays, apparently,
here's my
in
problem
studio.
with this. What if you're like sitting there and somebody else's drink happens to find its way in front of you
Let's
because
get
they just
tropical.
set it down too far over? Do you get in trouble then?
They're not going to call. This is not Monsters, Inc., where they call in like the patrol for the kid with like the people. Like, and the only reason I'm saying like, why do you bring up that reference? I just watched that with my daughter last night. She was sick. But when it comes down to, there is a rule as we share these. In Tennessee, by the way, if you are in Tennessee, be aware because many people do this today. You might be guilty listening right now. One of the two of us could be guilty of this in the room, and it's not me. Just joking. But it is illegal to share your Netflix password.
Oh, yeah. No, take me away.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say,
me away.
it is illegal to share your Netflix password in Tennessee.
And I offer it to people, too.
I'm just saying, you can get fined for that.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, no psychic readings. Like, they will break in. They will swarm you with SWAT. No psychic readings. These are all real laws, folks.
I just picture the woman there at the crystal ball, and all of a sudden SWAT just comes busting through the window.
Oh, or imagine the lady that really, truly wants to like reconnect with her dad, and she's about to turn over the tarot card, and then she just gets mauled. What happened to my dad? Like before I can't get there. She like puts a muzzle over the lady, like
taser.
My father. Lady, get out of Pennsylvania. If you want it, about 40 miles down the road in Ohio, I know a good lady named Sally. Pennsylvania, no dice. How about Indiana? Horse speed limit is 10 miles or less. Like, if you giddy up, like Kramer, giddy up. Like, you are going to jail. So, just want to make that clear
I want
as
to
well.
meet the cop that just goes up to a guy and says, Jerry,
oh, jeez,
you're going 13 miles per hour on your stallion there.
Like six people that would live in J. McDavid at this. I'm just saying. Half the city was arrested right there. As some may. I've been to a peanut festival or two. Kansas, if your tires screech, you will get a ticket. Some of these people need that law. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
If you do it at like 2, 3 in the morning, yeah, I could get that.
Yeah, sort of the reverse of Wizard of Oz. Dorothy, we're in Kansas again. There's Officer Stevens. Looking at Kentucky, women can't marry more than 3 times. That's a very chauvinist kind of rule. You know, like, I've been married 17 times, lady. They're like, sir, you got a problem. And this lady, women can't marry more than 3.
Yeah. Well, Becky, here's the thing now. Ricky over here has been married 5 times. This is going to be his 6th. That's perfectly fine. But you've been married 3 times already to Jimmy, Billy Bob, and then Randy, of course.
It'll lead
to
some,
that went.
some good jokes. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy that's been married 6 times and marrying her be like, well, I'm telling you what. When I saw Susan, there was 2 things that really stuck out to me. She was beautiful. We had a couple cocktails, and I realized I'm old, and she has no other shot. Be like, oh, hey, congratulations. Like, do we throw the rice at him? I mean, she can't ever, at that point. I guess the guy that marries the lady in Kentucky for the her third go-around is like, you better be, I hope you married a nice guy. I was going to say, because this guy could go to town, and that could definitely be something where it could be a little bad. Maryland sleeveless shirts are banned in public. By the way, if you're leaving a gym and you're one of these, like the guy that looks like The Rock, who's going to go to that guy too and bring up this completely asinine rule? Because these are all laws, folks. These are real.
Steps out of Planet Fitness with his little muscle shirt on. Cop car's just full. Hey, on the ground, on the ground.
Who's the guy that we know? Nobody in this. We have too many. I guess we have too many donut days. There's not anybody now.
We don't really have any big muscular guys.
Because we have too much food. We get free food.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I mean, so we don't have that. But if we had somebody down here, and we had to laugh and say, you have to be the one after that guy leaves the gym to tell him why he can't come in. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna pass with anybody. With you know what I'm saying? Nobody's gonna do that. Big Moose, if he's wearing a cutoff sleeves, you're gonna be the one to walk up and be like, hey, punk. You know what I'm saying?
You mean the guy that used to be a correctionals officer?
No, thank you on that one right there. Mississippi, nutrition labels on foods will not be enforced. If you've been to Mississippi, I get that right there.
That sounds familiar.
How much? This isn't low-fat ranch, is it? We don't know.
Look,
honey, just believe it.
It's pork rinds. There's pork, there's rinds. That's all you need to know. It's delicious.
That's right. Why am I eating straight fat? Honey, it could be 0 calories. We have no clue. Looking at Alabama, it is illegal for bear wrestling matches. Maybe that's in honor of the great Bear Bryant, but bear wrestling matches are prohibited. This should be something, unless Cousin Thelma didn't tell you, that you shouldn't be doing anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to stop by, get some gas. I've been really in the mood for like a 2-egg breakfast. I'm going to wrestle that bear. Like that. If that's like your Thursday morning, then we already got problems
I see
going
it more
on.
as like a hunting scenario. You're out in the woods hunting with your buddy, and you go, hey, Ricky, look down there. Look at that bear. I'm going to go wrestle that bear.
Yeah.
You just go
as long as they don't cancel wrestling bear. Because I got too many DVD. Oh, okay. Looking at some of the other things going on in the world of sports, we got a lot to talk about today. As we're talking about yesterday, Bobby Bonilla Day.
Yep.
Worst contracts in sports history. You know what? There's been some really, really bad ones. I think one of the best ever, though, that gets under the radar. I was trying to think of the worst sports contract because there's been some really bad ones. Rick Pitino, by the way, though, decided to leave Kentucky to go to the Boston Celtics, where in 3 seasons they failed completely to make the postseason. He got paid $11 million per year, and this was in 1997.
So that was a lot of money then.
Yes.
Yeah.
7-year, $77 million contract in 1997 for Rick Pitino. So you can say what you want. The guy did cut me off in traffic.
I was going to say, I think you have like a vendetta
he's celebrating.
Him.
I do. Yeah. Well, now I'm even more pissed because I deserve some of that repercussion. Like before, I didn't feel bad, but he can just throw me a couple hundred G's, a couple hundred. Yeah, I was going to say
$5 million from a year's salary. Yeah.
If I would have pulled him over and be like, "Sir, I know that you stole $77 million from my hometown. How dare you? Just give me $100,000 and we'll call it a day." Like, son, I didn't do anything. Just give me $100.
Exactly, you didn't do anything.
I've got a pocket knife on me. I'm joking. Now it's a threat, sir. But at this point, just give me your cash, sir. Just
get out of the car.
Did I even cut you off? Or?
Oh, my neck. Oh.
That's right. Sir, I've got a marriage, and she's been married 3 times, and we're moving to Kentucky, so I got to get rolling here. So before somebody else snags her, can we get out of here right now and get this? Yeah, Rick Pitino, that's one of the worst I've ever thought of. I mean, the ones that stick out, and there's a couple of them, Grant Hill, I remember I told him one time he didn't really like it, but I said you should probably 7-year, $93 million. And this is back in, I believe, in the early 1990s, or actually late 1990s, but he should have just taken some cash and dumped it out in Disney World and made people happy, made it a real Magic Kingdom, because he spent more time on a motorized scooter and one of those just pretty much inclined bikes than he did actually on the basketball court. And it wasn't his fault. He was actually a good player and a good guy too. But he had too many injuries where he just took the cash and then never got a chance to play. He played, during his 7 years, he played a total of 37 games. Jeez. An NBA basketball season is 82 games.
Yeah.
So for 7 years times 80 is 560. He played in 37 games in his career. So if you break down, he got paid about $3 million, a little less than $3 million a game. God bless him.
I'm gonna go work on my jump shot.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Ryan Leaf. Yeah, on that note, we're gonna go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we're gonna talk a little more worst contracts in sports history. We're also gonna get to more news in college football, taking a look at the biggest underdog stories in college football this year and some of the intrigue out of some positions, including Mississippi State at quarterback and Joe Moorhead maybe getting his Nittany Lion that he knows a thing or two about. It's all coming back right here on the Sports Drive.
To give batters a different look, pitchers throw a changeup.
Your idea of a different look is sunglasses.
That's true. But La Quinta Inns and Suites is really taking the different look thing to a new level.
Definitely a major league makeover, starting with a bolder, brighter lobby full of comfortable spaces to let you settle in.
Or chill out in front of a big flat screen like Wingo would.
Oh, you know it. It's a changing La Quinta look to help you get in the zone and look sharp when you hit that big meeting.
Prepare to win at business with La Quinta Inns and Suites.
Book now at LQ.com.
Pros know doing it right means getting more bang for your buck because putting more towards your bottom line is good for business. Lowe's is here to help with July 4th savings, like $45 off 5-gallon pails and $15 off gallon cans via Lowe's gift card rebate when you buy select interior and exterior paint and stain. And get up to 40% off select appliance special values, like a Whirlpool refrigerator was $13.99 and is now just $9.99. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 7/10, U.S. only.
Pensacola is loaded with famous athletes, and when it comes to seeing a chiropractor for their sports injuries, there is one team they trust, Doctors Edwin Roberts. A family tradition for 3 generations, Doctors Edwin Roberts Chiropractic, next to Legendary Fitness on Mobile Highway, has helped champion athletes like Emmett Smith and Trent Richardson. Doctors Roberts specialize in relieving auto accident pain to physicals for the student athlete. The best treatment for sports injuries is prevention. Call 912-4155 for a free consultation and change your life forever.
ESPN Pensacola has you covered from the national and local levels. From Golick and Wingo to the Sports Drive, the Paul Feinbaum Show to talk football with Coach K, we have it all. It's the latest and best in sports talk radio, making us Pensacola's hometown sports network. ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on HD Radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming online at our website at ESPNpensacola.com.
The year was 1919. Barbasol shaving cream was invented by a dreamer named Frank Shields. The world's first modern shave cream, Barbasol changed the face of shaving forever. A few billion shaves later, Frank's dream lives on. Behind every face is a dream. Barbasol proudly salutes every fearless, self-assured, wide-eyed dreamer all across America. Celebrating 100 years. Barbasol.
Our Pensacola Wahoos are back for another season, and with the new season comes some fresh and new changes. Our Wahoos are now the new AA affiliate of the Minnesota Twins, and they have a new broadcast home here in Pensacola, right here at your hometown station for hometown sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Catch all the Wahoos action from home and away with Chris Garagiola. Wahoos baseball presented by Denny's on the new official flagship station for the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and ESPNpensacola.com.
And welcome back. Sports Drive with you right here, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Now, I've gotten a lot of compliments wearing this shirt that has aged me about 30 years.
I told you, man. You look like you stepped on a pop top.
I've got tropical today. Yeah. It was a rainy day, so I'm trying to add some light. Like people, if they couldn't take their summer vacation with their family, they work 8 to 7. There we go. I'm getting tropical today. This is a true Tommy Bahama classic from my uncle. But the difference is, I've gotten a lot of compliments. This is the one shirt that when I break it out, like Brittany's like,
please don't wear that.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
like we have 30 years before we retire.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I've gotten 6 compliments
going
today.
On a cruise in August, and sent a picture of a shirt like that to my girlfriend. She was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
No, it doesn't go like Vineyard Vines works around here with polo and stuff, multicolored, like the stripes kind of thing. But this one,
I think it's kind of gone from looking like a sports radio talk show host to kind of a rich South Florida business.
That's what I'm
person.
saying. Right. The guys that walk around with their granddads down in South Florida, that kiss them on the lips. It's ridiculous.
When does
those granddads with a tan that look like George Hamilton remind me kissing their granddaughters on the lips and then spanking them. No, I'm just when it comes down to they were naughty. But all right, let's get to Bobcraft. Just get out of the room, man. All right. So what you were saying?
Oh, I was just gonna ask when the shuffleboard tournament started.
Jeff, welcome to the show, and we got a lot to talk about today. I think the main reason Jeffrey D joining the program today, our sports guru, to get some college football 52 days away, or a kinder way to put it would be we're just a month away. We're in July, and football's in August. Mm-hmm. You start breaking down the dates, that's different. But we're in July, and football's in August, baby. Woo!
I mean, technically, isn't the Hall of Fame game like August?
That's
2nd or 3rd or
if Tim McGraw doesn't cancel it. Half the time they don't even play that. I'm not. It's true that has been
even
canceled.
More exciting for Jordan and I is that we're less than a month away from the Gators starting their fall practice in Miami because they get to start a week before everybody else does.
Seeing this segment getting handcuffed, so I'm going to go ahead and take a break, guys. Well, you want to go ahead?
Maybe we can drown out all the UCF talk, huh?
Well, good luck
Listen,
with that.
I was just proving a fact. And first off, you sent your daughter to that school, so
yes, listen, I love UCF.
Get your wire off this mic, sir. How dare you? I mean, you've done this before.
I thought you were reaching across to pop him after that.
Don't come in. See, he sets me up. He comes in and he sets me up. Jeff and I have worked together for like 5 years, so he sets me up with a compliment with the shirt.
Right.
Oh, well, thank you, son. And then he's just going to berate my team here. I've got, that Eagle Eye movie, with the kid that went crazy. The Eagle Eye movie, Shia LaBeouf, or whatever that guy's name is.
Sorry, I was thinking about that one that's like the teenager that jumps in the fighter jet to go save his dad. Yeah. That's like Iron Eagle or something.
Mine is Dumbo ears. I'm always listening, folks.
Okay.
So, when you guys do a show and I'm driving back from covering the Florida Sports Hall of Fame and you guys are just berating there, I'm listening. Every time that this is happening, I'm hearing. Yeah, Dumbo ears.
I heard the ticking under my seat start as soon as I started
I'm just
talking.
saying. I know the fraudulent. I'm just proving a fact to everybody out there. No matter how you feel about your team, there's only one team in the past 2 seasons of college football that has not lost a regular season game at 23-0. Thank you, Hurricane. 23-0, and that is UCF. That's it. And we just move on from that fact, and we go. The rest is irrelevant, but that's all you need to know. Jeff, 53 days until college football begins.
53 days till college football, and hopefully UCF will improve their recruiting status because they're like 83rd right now, I think, in the country. But they'll probably race way up.
Or number 1 in Orlando. It's how you look at things, folks.
Well, and again,
it's how you look at things.
They parlayed a 60th, 65th, 75th, and 45th class into beating Auburn.
Yeah.
So, it's not impossible, and they've done it. They've done a great job.
Perception is how you make it, folks. If I just gave you these facts, and everybody don't close your eyes that you're driving a car, but if you just take a deep breath, woosah. Here's a couple facts. 5'6", not real hair color, 67 years old, and below 500 in the NFL.
Nick Saban.
There we go. Folks, right there, you just pinpointed Nick Saban. Now, what I just did, you might have been like, well, that doesn't sound like a good date. Here's the thing. It's about the perception of how you take it. So you say 83rd recruiting class? I come back with 2 regular seasons undefeated.
Bingo.
Continue.
And you know what, Jordan?
Continue, sir.
Winning the AAC is like being the tallest midget.
Don't make me throw another Nick Saban. I don't want to go down that path again. So here we go. Right here. Just all I'm saying is we got some big games. We were talking about yesterday. I don't think Miami's right now it's going to take Manny Diaz a little bit of time. They got to look. Tate Martell. He's perfect for Miami. He's going to wear flashy chains and probably come out with a rap video and things like that. But Tate Martell is not ready, in my opinion. I've seen enough. I was watching a couple of them. When I go home, look, I have a hard time sleeping. It's called what? There's a couple words for it, but so I stay up on the couch until like 3 a.m, and I'm checking out all the websites, appropriate websites about everything going on with the Miami Hurricanes and things like that, and I'm watching all the teams. I'm watching Felipe Franks, and he's a practice warrior. He's great. 3-step drop, left, throw, target, accomplished. Like, he's great at that. Put him in a game with a eight-person blitz. Best quarterback of all time in the history of all football was Drew Bledsoe, if you didn't bring a blitz. Drew Bledsoe was incredible. I watched so many years of him 3-step drop, 6'5", could see over his target. Perfect. If he was one of those or Dr. Pepper shootout where you just had to throw it in, he would win every single time. But you put 8 guys in the box, and he was like a chicken with his head cut off running in a Benny Hill show. That's the difference is sometimes you put a little pressure. Tate Martell has the skills. He's got a good arm. He looks like a 5-star kind of tool that obviously – that was wrong. 5-star tool, folks. Don't get any other ideas. I didn't. Maybe. But when it comes to Ohio State, he lost the job. He didn't win the job to Justin Fields. He was upset. Got a chance to join the portal. I just don't think Miami is ready yet to compete at a level where Florida is heading. And I'm not going to say that Florida is a great team, but Miami is a okay team. And I think that Florida is going to win this game by about 10 points. For that reason alone, the most intriguing game to kick off the season to me is Auburn and Oregon. And one guy that's shaking it up a little more today was the head coach, who you would not want to see or say a wrong comment to his wife at a bar, and that's Mario Cristobal. Mario Cristobal looks like the guy about to turn green in the movie. And he said, we play in the Pac-12, so we play teams around Auburn's level week in and week out. We believe we are stronger and faster than any team in America. This is going to be a good – okay, take it what he – you do that smirk to him. We're going to call Mario Cristobal. I'm just saying. Jeff, what do you make of Mario Cristobal's comments? Obviously, that is, to me, asinine because the Pac-12 is not the SEC. However, do you believe that Oregon has what it takes to be, which they are, a preseason top 10 and a team that goes out and takes care of Auburn?
Well, I'll talk about the Auburn game, but you covered a lot of ground there. So let me start with Miami and Martell. That's going to be a close race between Martell and N'Kosi Perry, I think, during the fall to see who starts that first game of the year on August 24th. We're just less than we're less than 2 months.
You
away
got your
from
tailgate picked out, by the way. Will you be going to that?
No, I'm going to stay here for it because
I'll be watching it then with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
definitely watch it together.
Yeah.
But I listened to Phil Steele. Phil Steele is one of the best of these preseason magazine guys.
His magazine Man of Steel.
He was on Gators Breakdown podcast the other night, and he said, "Listen, Miami's not that bad. They've got all 3 of their linebackers have started for 3 years as true freshmen all the way up.
Yes."
Their front 4 is very good. They've got maybe some deficiencies in the defensive backfield, but their front 7 is tough, and the Gators aren't going to score that many points on them. And I agree with him. And Miami's not going to score much on Florida either, so this could be a relatively low-scoring game. I don't know if 10 might be too many, but
I'm seeing 27-17.
27-17. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking maybe 24-20, something like that.
Okay.
I think Miami will kind of cozy up to the Gators, or maybe 2017, something like that. I think Florida will probably win the game. But you also mentioned Oregon-Auburn. He said Auburn is a very underrated team. People don't expect much from Auburn because, they kind of laid a little bit of an egg last year.
They're still trying to figure out their quarterback too.
They're trying to figure out the quarterback, but he said Auburn has the second best defensive line in the country according to his analytics, and also
That's fair.
a top 10 defense. And so, I think that Auburn's going to be tough, and I wouldn't look for Mario Cristobal to move the ball much on them either. And so those two games that you just chronicled are going to be low-scoring games. I think that Auburn probably wins that game.
No, going back to the comments made by Mario Cristobal about Oregon and the way that they play their competition, it's close to Auburn's level. I would respond to that with UCLA, Cal. Auburn would probably beat those teams by about 20, 30 points. The Pac-12 is not that strong of a conference. You look at the Power 5, they're at the bottom of the list of Power 5s. So I have a hard time buying into his comments of, we played teams of that caliber week in, week out inside the Pac-12, because you really don't.
From a standpoint of the football that has made our way to our set here with a deflated football, what I'm here to tell you all is that it, to me, is more about, and to me it's more about the top-tier players,
right?
The big hitters. Meaning that I think if you took a list in college football of the 7 to 14 level, so like out of the SEC, you take Arkansas, you take Ole Miss, you take Vandy, you take schools, it used to be Kentucky, but they've moved their way up, Mizzou, who's without their quarterback, and Kelly Bryant, we'll see, they're borderline top 25 this year. But then you've got, your teams like Mississippi State who had moved their way up recently.
Yep.
But let's take Arkansas, Ole Miss, Vandy, Mizzou, and in the past Kentucky's.
Okay.
And then you put them with the schools out of the Pac-12 like Arizona and Arizona State. And let's go with a Cal. And an Oregon State, which is doing horrible reference for this. But I'm just saying, you go with those teams, and then if you go to the Big 12, and you start taking Texas Tech, and you start taking the recent Baylor, and you start taking schools like, once again, Kansas does not do due diligence for anybody on this list. Kansas State. Those kind of schools. Then you move to the next one, and you start doing that with every conference. You see where I'm going with this. Outside of a few bozos in there, most of these schools can compete. You start going down the list of Purdue's and Illinois and Indiana's. And if you did, and we started to just form the randometer and went dun, 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 Indiana versus Ole Miss, it's a good football game. It's a pretty good football game. Purdue versus Vandy, pretty good football game. Start doing the same thing. Texas Tech, Baylor versus an Arkansas or a Kentucky, good football games. So where the difference is made is that when you start going up the cliff to Alabama and Georgia, outside of just the Clemson, nobody else has an Alabama or Georgia. So they start to drop real far. And then the next tier of LSU and Texas A&M and Florida versus most of them across the board, that's where a lot of those teams, top-tier teams, are. So if you went to the Big 12, where you have an Oklahoma and a Texas, that's usually where the LSU and the Floridas are. So that's the difference, is the very top echelon.
Yeah.
But across the board, there are teams week in and week out in the SEC that are comparable to every other division. And I've watched them when they do play, and you get one of those Texas Tech Ole Miss games, those kind of things. That's, to me, where people lose it. Our division, top to bottom, 1 through 14, is better than everybody. It's not true. It's the top-tier teams out of the SEC are so much usually more dominant than the other top-tier teams outside of what Clemson once in a while, outside of an Ohio State once in a while, outside of a team like a Florida State once in a while.
And I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you on most of that. But I think the difference here for me is that when I look at this, and I say that Auburn might be a little bit higher than those lower-level Pac-12 schools, it's a difference of size, speed, strength, depth. I think that's where Auburn kind of has that edge over those teams. So, they're going to be going up against a team with a defense that they don't really see in the Pac-12 when they take on Auburn week 1 of the season.
Last year, I think Washington, Jeff, and Auburn, Washington is a different type of team.
Yep.
Oregon wants to get up and down the field. They did. I don't know, with Cristobal it might change a little, but Washington last year in Auburn, if you watch that football game, and Auburn didn't have a great season, and Washington was not incredible, but Washington and Auburn was a very comparable game.
Sure,
I mean,
it
was pretty much across the board.
Well, Washington was very physical last year. They had a very physical defensive front. They're probably the most physical team in the league. And so, yeah, I mean, that was a comparable game. I don't know that Oregon has that kind of physicality. They can probably beat them with speed and, getting around the edge. But I'm just not sure that they can do that against this Auburn team. I just think Auburn's, superior this year to Oregon. Could be wrong, but that's my guess.
When we come back, we're going to get some more college football talk. Later on in today's show, we're going to talk with John Steele of the Retirement Planners, and we'll also get to more on what's going on right here in Team USA as we get set to take on either the Dutch or a team in Sweden that has surprised a lot of people right there. And Jordan's a big fan. He actually, surprisingly, has their calendar, although he's not a fan of soccer. We're coming back for more. I'm just playing. When we come back for more right here, we're going to talk a little more college football. It's the Sports Drive.
Imagining a better bank starts with looking at the savings rates most banks offer and saying, really? Capital One is building something better. You can open a Capital One savings account with one of the nation's best savings rates from anywhere. Like here, or here, or here. One of the nation's best savings rates. Opened online, at a Capital One location, or from anywhere. That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One N.A. member FDIC. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
He was a star quarterback at Pensacola High, played alongside Gator great Steve Spurrier, and rose up the ranks to become head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, he's talking football on ESPN Pensacola 945. Coach K brings football to life year-round. The teams, the players, and the front office. Talk football with Coach K every day at noon on your radio. And Coach K live on Facebook and YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 945.
Paul Feinbaum here for the Southeast leader for cranes and equipment rental, CraneWorks. The CraneWorks team in Nashville, Birmingham, and Mobile is ready to make your next construction or maintenance project a big success. Give CraneWorks a call for your next lift, machinery moving, or rigging project. And don't forget, RentalWorks has a full line of rental equipment for jobs both big and small, and now offering qualified operators for all equipment, including aerial and earth-moving equipment. Call CraneWorks at 877-282-LIFT or visit them on the web at craneworks.com.
It's almost time for Sertoma's 4th of July celebration in downtown Pensacola. Watch Old Seville Square come alive this 4th of July with free activities starting at 11 a.m., including a children's area with inflatables, rock climbing wall, pony rides, face painting, live entertainment, food, and much more. Don't forget the amazing fireworks show over Pensacola Bay at 9. Sponsored by Skanska with a perfectly synchronized music broadcast on Cat Country 98.7. Presented by the Law Office of J.J. Talbot. For more info, visit PensacolaFireworks.com.
New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline is engineered with 4 levels of defense against gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. It's sort of like having ninjas protect your engine. That helps keep your engine running like new. New Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. It's fuel for thought in engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh.
Well, I noticed dry brush where we wanted our bonfire and suggested we move it. Then Smokey Bear showed up and hugged me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. Just letting you know you did good.
Hey, guys, that was Smokey. You owe me 20.
Well, congratulations, and thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
And welcome back to the Sports Drive, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Our sports quote of the day. George Best once told everybody, in light of soccer, that 90% of the money that he made went to women and booze. And he said the other 10%
was wasted.
I sadly wasted. Looking at some of the things going on today, the United States, Team USA gets a 2-1 victory over England. And, Jeff, you were there in France, and you made – no, he wasn't. But you did see it. You saw the highlights.
Well, I saw the highlights, exactly.
That's right.
I did not see it live, unfortunately.
Yes. It was like I was working
live,
like an American, true American.
Right.
But, we only take off March Madness on Thursday. That's the
now,
only day.
we're going to definitely watch the I've already talked to Christina, my daughter.
Okay.
And we're going to try to get a posse together to watch the championship game, World Cup championship game. It's 10 o'clock our time on Sunday.
An appropriate way of putting it, according to LeBron James. I'm just getting a tweet.
Yeah.
So you're getting a group of people together?
To
watch the game.
That's correct.
Okay,
and,
just want to make sure. Phil Jackson said, hey, he's tweeting me too.
I remember, watching the Men's World Cup at Perfect Plane, which was may not be a sponsor, but it's a pretty good place to watch the game.
Well, they got a plug. I'm joking.
There'll be some other, a lot of other places around town that will probably have a party. And
yes.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah, it always is fun because it is truly the biggest bandwagon in the history of sports. And what I mean is, in a good way, bandwagon. When people say bandwagon, it doesn't always have to be a bad thing. I mean, we all get behind things. If there was a guy right now, the girl that went out there and beat Serena at 15 years old, I mean, that's like a lifelong. That's incredible to think. I mean, that was her icon. She had Serena Williams posters all over for her to go out there and win that. But when it comes down to bandwagon, I'm not going to act like it every year. Like, what's Megan Rapinoe up to? I wonder. Hope Solo. I hope she doesn't say anything stupid. Like, we don't care about usually the women outside of if you're a true diehard women's sports fan in soccer. I pay attention during the World Cup and during tournament time. Doesn't make me a bad person for it. We cover sports, but
I just admitted to my bandwagon ish sports viewing because I told you I didn't watch the semifinal, but I'm going to watch the final.
Jordan, clearly you are a year-round fan.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm constantly texting Megan Rapinoe asking what's up.
That's right.
She doesn't respond, but please leave me alone.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Rapping no more texts for you.
There you go.
Looking at college football. 52 days away, what to you has been the biggest story that you would like to be answered besides the letters and documents that Urban Meyer may or may not receive from USC?
Well, we were just talking about it the other day. I think college football is now at a crossroads because of this California decision, and I don't think the NCAA can beat them in court. And so if you're going to be able to sell your likenesses, then it's going to become professional football on every level. And suddenly all the players will start migrating to the West Coast. And it's every little car dealership down the street that wants USC or UCLA or Washington or whoever to be good. They just okay, bring the offensive line in here, and we're going to buy each of their likenesses for $50,000. And then bring all the recruits in here, bring the top 5 recruits in here, and we'll do the same thing. And so it's going to start tilting the playing field. And listen, that's not going to sit well in Alabama. They're not going to sit there idly and watch, the West Coast suddenly get all the players. Yeah. And it probably goes for Georgia and Florida and all the other southern states and Texas. So we may have, we're going to have a completely changed dynamic if this passes.
Pay them their money, folks. No, I'm just fine. No, I do agree. It is. You made some valid points, and it's not an easy one. It's a tough one as the NCAA gets richer, but it's the path we have to take. Jeff, enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it very much, guys.
All right, we'll be back for a half hour. Coming back for more right here in the Sports Drive.
This is Pensacola's hometown all-sports station and home of the Blue Wahoos, ESPN Pensacola 945. Catch all the Wahoos games home and away all season, plus all the latest Wahoos news from Chad Brillante on the Sports Drive, 5 till game time weeknights. And hey, if your business would like to partner with us as an advertiser or with a local sports promotion, then give us a call at 850-262-6000 or shoot us an email from the advertise page on ESPNpensacola.com.
looking Gannon, throws up the middle. It's intercepted at the 40. Derek Brooks 30. Brooks to the 29. He's getting Derek Brooks all the way. Touchdown Tampa Bay. Derek Brooks, the dagger's in. We're going to win the Super Bowl.
Another Watson is wearing a green jacket, and this time his name is Bubba.
Pitch on the way. Russell drives one in the air. Deep left center. That's back near the wall. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Grand slam, Addison Russell.
The new WBA heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
And Richardson breaks free on the sideline. End zone. How about that? Bama scores on a 34-yard touchdown run by the Doak Walker Award winner, Trent Richardson, who broke a lot of Emmett Smith's records back in Pensacola, Florida.
And these them Louisiana, Pensacola guys, they looking crazy and all that.
Morris, blocked by the tight end call. That opens up the door. Breaking the Cambridge tackle. To the pylon. Touchdown.
Really nice effort there by Alfred Morris, extending that ball over the goal line.
Near side ball is that big game. Doug Baldwin's got a first down. Doug Baldwin, 93 yards, now has back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Reggie Evans, and he's going to get an ovation. Guy from Pensacola, Florida.
And welcome into the Sports Drive right here on ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. I am Chad Brilliante. Glad to be with you here as always. I got Jordan running around doing all these chores and, and doesn't,
How
just
many loads
kindly.
of laundry?
That's right, Yeah, a little more tap. Can you hear me now? Hold on. Let's just do that for everybody. We can start that band. Oh, nothing. Oh.
Can you
yodel?
Please stop. Can you
So that's
yodel?
one of the most annoying now. I can see like my.
Hey, can you
that's the
turn my
worst.
volume down a little bit before my head explodes?
Yeah. That's on me. That's because I am deaf and yeah. That's my normal hearing, by the way.
Well, I used to follow the guys on the
What was
Saturday
that?
Morning Fish Show.
I've turned it down.
I
What?
used to follow the guys on the Saturday Morning Fish Show, and the first thing I had to come in and do was turn the mics down to about 90%. Because those guys are all deaf.
I've only got 50% hearing, John, and actually this is true. And my wife says it's selected. It's 50%. It really is. It's been tested. Well,
that's like that sign down in the men's room.
Yeah.
That says, my wife says that I don't listen to her, or at least that's what I think she said.
That's right. She doesn't like when I use that. I can't hear you. Literally, I can't. No, you just don't pick. But here's the thing about it, though, is when I'm connected, somebody got my headset on accident. No joke. I think it was Reggie Evans, the former basketball player. And one of the nicest guys. Got the largest smile in the world. I saw him at this family. Some guy almost hit him at the Cordova Mall. He was at Ruby Tuesdays. But can't miss him. He's 6'9". But Reggie Evans was at the studio, and he grabbed my headset instead of mine. And on a range of 1 through 10, mine it's at like a 9, and it's supposed to be at about a 4. And he puts it on. I start, and welcome, and he throws him off. And his head started shaking. I thought something was happening with the system. Just grabbed the wrong one. So next time you're in studio, just be wary of.
I'm always wary.
There you go.
This is why now I have my own studio and my own office for my Saturday morning show at 9
right.
o'clock, the retirement planners, so I don't have to adjust the headsets at all. Nobody else touches them.
By the way, the 4th of July sort of represents what you do. It's all about a country that was founded on just being better.
Independence.
Well, I was going to say,
our country was based upon, if you really want to go all the way
independence
back,
and freedom on also on finances. That's what you do. So in a way,
without money,
you
aren't
are
free.
4th of July, and we have you. You are the fireworks.
Yeah, debt today is just the new form of slavery. That's all
it's true. I mean, it really is.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it really is. When if you're in debt, your life, you are pretty much an indentured servitude. To paying off the credit cards, not being able to do anything, not being able to travel, not being able to get a second job, not being able to get a mortgage.
It's like one of my favorite bumper stickers is I owe, so off to work I go.
Yeah. There was a guy in front of me at line yesterday, John, at the bank. No joke.
How did anybody get ahead of you?
Because, he just he was a little bigger than me.
Okay.
We got there at the same time, but he got there ahead of me. Let's just put it that way. He was 6'9". It wasn't Reggie Evans either. But this guy walks up in the front, and I'll never forget that he goes, I've been making more money this month than I ever have, but I can't get a loan to get himself a new truck. He needed a new truck for his job, but he couldn't get a loan because he had to go 2 years getting taxed, not as an individual employee. But he was making so much money, but they wouldn't allow him to get any type of loan until he worked 2 years as an employee.
You cannot get financing or a loan unless you're in debt and don't need it.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Well, and maybe this was his friend. I don't know, but he was trying to get some type of loans, and he had the money to do it. But I don't know why, if you have the money, then you need a loan. That's what I look at.
Because sometimes you ain't got enough money.
That's what it sounded like.
It's like right now I'm trying to figure out whether I want to partially finance this new 31-foot boat I'm buying or not.
Oh.
I got the money, but do I, I got to look at the numbers. Do I want to use my money or somebody else's money? And it depends on how cheap I can get somebody else's money.
That's a good point. Because if you use somebody else's money, it's easier to get out of that.
I average 8 to 10% pretty much a year on my money, and if I can go borrow it at 4 to 5, I'll use their money.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Makes very.
That's why I'm a
makes American pride sense.
That's why
right
I'm
there.
a certified financial planner.
That's right.
I figured that out.
Now, everybody right now is a time where a lot of people are getting huge contracts in sports, but you are here to tell us today that the path of if you think you're going to be the next Ben Simmons for getting $170 million.
I want to be that little new girl that won at Wimbledon. Coco.
Yeah.
She just beat her idol. She's going to be worth a lot of money.
I'm trying to. I went down the road of picturing that, of you being the 15-year-old girl that just beat.
Well,
and I started.
I don't know. Maybe someday I could grow up to be a 15-year-old African-American girl.
That's what I'm saying. I started getting away from the finance of the records, and I was like, all right, so if you were the girl that just beat the 15-year-old girl that beat Serena, she is going to get some offers. She beat her childhood friend pretty much.
Yeah, she might even get Nike shoes with the flag on the back.
Yeah. Pull up the mic just a little because we're getting some beard noise right here.
You're getting some beard noise?
Yeah, we're getting some. I was getting some beard noise in there. I was wondering what that was at first, but that was some beard noise right there.
Radio check.
The radio check. Make sure. First off, folks, we have a beard noise test here. Jordan deals with it right now.
Yeah.
Mine would be scruff right now. This is not appropriate. This is. See, you guys have beards. Me is unkept, not shaving.
Well, someday you'll reach puberty.
That's right. You don't want to see me with a beard. I look like the guy that you get your kids from the park with a beard. I don't look good. Yeah, I don't look. I've got these. They have them on what is it, Snapchat, where they have those pictures now.
Yeah.
And my daughter and she goes, "Daddy, you look scary." And I was like, "Well, thank you for letting me know that." But yeah, I'm not the guy with a beard that you want to see in public. But looking at some of the things that have been going on, you're here to tell us that it is not that easy, and the path of life, if you think you're going to be one of the next rich athletes, is probably one
You've
that...
probably a better chance of being a professional plumber.
Well, shouldn't that be a pretty high...
It's pretty high paying. In fact, it pays better than some professional athletes. But anyway, now, let's see. Do you hate what you do? Do you have a passion for athletics? Well, don't quit your day job. You probably suck at sports. Okay? It's like, Chad, I don't know how good an athlete you are. You really know sports knowledge, but I don't know how well you do in the NBA. Probably not real good.
Oh, no.
Unless
I wore like those Uncle Sam stilts, I would not. Yeah.
Today, you'd even be a short guard.
That's right.
But anyway, being a professional athlete is much more than just loving to play the game and trying hard. Okay? It requires a level of dedication, sacrifice, and discipline that, quite frankly, not too many of us are familiar with. Okay, to get the better picture, we've compiled some statistical data to let you know. Football for men. Do you know that 1,121,744 boys last year played high school football in the U.S.? That's a lot of boys.
That is a lot of boys, yeah.
1 in 40 high school players will play in college. 1 in 40.
Huh.
Okay? 1 in 325 college players will be drafted in the NFL. You start out with 1.1 million, and you get down to 1 in 325. Get to the NFL. Basketball for men. 535,569 boys play high school basketball in the U.S. 1 in 17 will play in college. 1 in 8,926 high school players will be drafted to the NBA.
1 in 17 players play college, though?
1 in 17 high school players will play in college. Huh. 1 in 8,926 high school players will be drafted to the NBA. 1 in 525 college players will be drafted into the NBA.
Made me feel really... I know this is supposed to be motivating people to get other jobs, but what you've done out of here, too, is you've made me feel terrible because I was one of the non-1 in 17 that did not get a chance at college basketball as a starting point guard.
Yeah.
Who was second leading scorer on our team, so... Move on, but you made me feel a lot worse here.
That's what happens to number 2.
That's right.
Yeah, you were the second.
Yeah. I was a big number 2.
There you go.
On that one.
Basketball for women. 436,100 girls play high school basketball in the U.S. 1 in 16 high school players will play in college, and that's because of all those laws that were changed a number of years ago saying you had to spend as much money on women athletics in college as you do on men.
Title IX.
Okay. 1 in 12,114 high school players will be drafted to the WNBA. 1 in 766 college players will be drafted into the WNBA. Last time I was checking with my brother, who used to teach at Pensacola State College in the vocational area. Do you know that 90% of the kids who go out there to learn to become a plumber graduate? Okay, baseball for men. 474,219 boys play high school baseball in the U.S. 1 in 9 high school players will play in college. 1 in 390 high school players will be drafted to the Major League Baseball. 1 in 44 college players will be drafted to Major League Baseball, which is a lot better odds than basketball.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. What else we got here? Soccer for men. 412,351 boys play high school soccer in the U.S. 1 in 11 play in college. 1 in 5,355 high school players will be drafted to the MLS. 1 in 447 college players will be drafted. Women, the odds about the same. Hockey, you know, there's only 35,732 boys that play high school hockey. 1 in 9 will play in college, and the rest will all lose their teeth.
6 are waking up today in Pensacola and realize that unless they play for the Ice Flyers, it's not going to happen.
That's about it. 1 in 20 college players are drafted.
That is a dedicated Pops, though. I would love to see those ESPN 30 for 30s about dads that their kids never grew up outside of Florida, but they went on to become professional hockey players. Think about that. That's a dedicated parent, or one that has a lot of money and can rent out the Florida Panthers arena.
Only reason we brought this whole story up, the reason we're doing this, is that I know a lot of young people, and I'll be honest with you, I've known many families throughout my life, and a lot of young boys in the African American community, they see the NBA a lot of times, or the NFL, as their only way out of the environment they're in.
That's a great way to put it, yeah.
And they have a much higher probability of success than does the average middle-class Caucasian to get into the NFL or the NBA. And the major reason from all the statistical studies is they're hungrier and they work harder for it. Doesn't necessarily have anything to do with natural ability, doesn't have anything to do. They're hungrier than their middle-class counterparts, and they work harder for it. And that's why a majority, or pretty much a majority of the NFL are now African Americans. definitely the majority in the NBA are African Americans. And it's not for any other reason other than they wanted it more.
Well, I would agree with that, and I'm also going to add the human element of them being most of the time faster. Honestly, I was a very fast. I'm not saying this because now if you're watching this on TV, I'm wearing Hawaiian shirts to cover that I've put on 11 pounds the last 2 weeks and not caring because of extra nacho platters. By the way, they have a crab nachos at Saki Cafe. But let's go to some of the things that I'm talking about here. I was going to say, see you later. Happy hour too, $3.99. But when it comes down to the athletes, I thought I was one of the fastest out of school. Now, for purposes of this conversation, we were a Catholic school on the beach that had 638 white guys and 2 black kids. Mm-hmm. So I was one of the fastest, if not the fastest guy at the school. Then I went to some national competitions. And one of the guys I faced was Pee Wee Carter, Xavier Pee Wee Carter, who played for LSU. Second fastest guy, Justin Gatlin type speed. And we went up in track. And I remember just looking at this guy like, is this some kind of joke? You're putting me on the same track as this guy? And I was the fastest. I had, all of a sudden, my confidence went from like the guy in the commercial. It was the Happy Jim on those smiling commercials for those pills or whatever. And then all of a sudden, the next guy, are you depressed? Like, quickly, I went to the depressed guy on that. And the thing was, Xavier Carter, he was one of the faster guys, but it was night or day compared to how fast that I could run. The truth of the matter, too, you are right. But there are a lot of black athletes that are just flat out faster. I mean, clearly just faster athletes, culture-wise and otherwise. And I mean, maybe that's my opinion, but I'm just saying it how it is, for the most part.
Yeah,
you don't see too many Germans winning the world in the Olympics when it comes to the 100 meters.
You don't see a whole lot of German and Polish and Austrian
no Swedish
in the
guys
Boston
beating
Marathon
Usain Bolt.
either.
No, you see more Kenyans than Swedish people winning the Boston Marathon.
Now, just a minute though, but do you know why? I was listening to a story by a guy who became a champion long distance marathon runner. Okay, he was from Kenya. And people asked him, you won. I think he won the Boston Marathon that year, or whatever. He won a bunch of races, and they asked him, "Why are you so fast?" And his answer was very simple. He says, "In Kenya, when I was growing up, we didn't have any telephones." And they said, "Well, what's that got to do with how fast you are?" Well, my mom's sister lived 11 miles away in another village. And if my mom wanted to communicate with her sister, she would write down a note. I would have to run it over there. And then her sister, my aunt, would write down the answer to the note. I'd have to run it back. He says many times there were 10 to 12 communications in one day between mom and her sister. He says, I was used to running 2 or 3 marathons in a single day. He says, so, you ask how come I can run? Ask my mom and my aunt. And that was it. So, a lot of it has to do with culture, and a lot of it has to do with, for example, if you ever studied, now the Aborigines in Australia are not normally very big people.
No.
But they're used to getting out and running, in the outback all day in the hot sun, and just can run 30, 40 miles in a day and make it and survive. You and I'd be dead after the first 2 miles.
Yeah.
And
it's cultural. Look, people down here don't understand why people up in the north can't pronounce R's where I'm from. But at the same time, people down here were wondering why there's so many y'alls.
I keep wondering down here why you guys eat grits.
That's right. That's right. I said that the other day. The whole place stopped when I asked for I asked for some cream of wheat, and people went crazy on us.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cream of what? Cream of get out of my breakfast place right here. But no, I'll tell you, it is. It's all about culture. It is. I always thought bless your heart was a good thing till I moved down here. And my wife was like, bless her heart. And I was like, oh, bless her heart. Is she sweet? And she's like, no, she's going through some tough times. I was like, then why are we blessing her? Like,
well, bless her heart.
Just bless her heart.
Well, see, that's the way they put you off down here.
That's right. If I heard somebody say bless her heart, and I was like, you son of a...
If somebody walks up and says, Chad, Bless your heart.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Well, thank you there. I appreciate the kind words there, fella John.
That ain't how it works.
No, I know. That's not.
But we were talking about athletes and culture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do a real quickie here. This is for an old friend of mine who was a super athlete in high school.
Yeah.
He was our fullback on our high school team. The little town I grew up in, Dupuis, Illinois, people used to move from all over the Midwest to come there. Mm-hmm. And the town only had a population of about 3,500 people. But we were always number 1 or number 2 in the state in football. Many years taking the state championship with our little bitty. We had a great coach, great history, and people would move in to get like their son recognized as a quarterback or a fullback or whatever, because you were guaranteed that if you played at DuPont, you were getting a scholarship somewhere. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just how it was when I grew up.
It's like Friday Night Lights.
And we had a kid, super muscular. His name was Leo Bell. He was African American. I mean, that guy was just rock solid, and just the nicest guy in the world. He was a fullback. And that year we won the state championship, and he scored 3 touchdowns as a fullback in the state championship game. And I'll never forget it. Leo was kind of a friend of mine. We got to know each other pretty good. And he was being scouted by, I know University of Illinois was after him, and there were a bunch of others that were after him. During his senior year, he dropped out of high school, joined the Marine Corps, went to Vietnam, and was the first guy in my class killed in combat in Vietnam. His name's on the black marble wall in Washington, D.C., and his mother, who's still, I don't know if she's still alive, I haven't seen her now in years, but I went to the wall and etched his name off with a lead pencil on a piece of paper and took it back to her because she could never afford to travel to see her son's name. But anyway, so much for Leo Bell.
Yeah, and sometimes you just get to the point where you realize that life is not going to be fair, and that's a big thing about sports today. I think a lot of the kids, what you're talking about, is kids decide a lot of times on schools based on like an IMG Academy in football. People go there not just because it's a good school, but they know it's a filter spot to an opportunity to get to the next level, meaning that you have scouts there to watch. I wasn't a big guy, wasn't a great pitcher. It was okay, good enough to get some looks. I could have gone to a smaller school. But I remember when I pitched and had that great game when Prince Fielder, his daddy was pretty good. His name was Cecil. He'd bomb balls out of Detroit. He was out there. And Prince was even better than his daddy and went on to have a ridiculous career, was actually an MVP when he played with the Milwaukee Brewers. But I remember when Prince was out there, every scout and their mama was out there to watch him. We were on a travel team, 16 years old. I pitched the best game of my career. We were in Haines City. I'll never forget it. Haines City, Plant City, Florida, where every other road is a graveyard, railroad track, Hooters Inn, graveyard, and a railroad track. And I remember sitting there and thinking, yeah, man, this place, everybody's here. They're either at a graveyard or they're watching baseball. So they were watching us play. The whole city had stopped. And I remember pitching my best game ever, and next day getting some looks. Hey, if you want to come out to this camp, I was only a junior, you want to come out here, do this. But it was just because of Prince that gave me that opportunity.
Yeah.
It wasn't because of me. And a lot of people are never put in that opportunity to succeed to do that because their school, their path never gives them that shot. There's a lot of people. Rucker Park, you go to Harlem, places like that are better athletes than some of the guys in the NBA that we never get to see because they were never given the opportunity to succeed. And that's the life we live in.
Yep, that's true. The only other thing I brought with me today I thought was kind of interesting, and since you guys know that I'm a cheesehead, okay, and I do like my Green Bay Packers. I found out a few interesting things. I was looking up because I had checked last time I was at Lambeau Stadium, and I was checking, and I said, okay, how long's the waiting list to buy season tickets?
Well, and I want to hear more about this. We have to take a break. I just checked the time. When we come back, we're going to get to more. John Steele will break down the Green Bay Packers and how long it takes to get to season tickets. I know, and if you're out there listening, you're not going to, if you were on that list, you better be looking at the watch if you, coming back for more.
Sports is live and local every Saturday from 11 to 1.
This Toronto Raptor team deserved this championship because they played their butts off in the series.
Sports Call with Jordan Glass and Davis Allen on your radio, on Facebook, and YouTube.
Hey, maybe you played for losing teams growing up. You just maybe don't understand what it's like to be a champion like this. But guess what? Whenever you are the best team in the world, you're going to let everyone know you're the best team in the world.
At ESPN Pensacola 94.5. He was a star quarterback at Pensacola High, played alongside Gator great Steve Spurrier, and rose up the ranks to become head coach of the Buffalo Bills. Now, he's talking football on ESPN Pensacola 94.5. Coach K brings football to life year-round. The teams, the players, and the front office. Talk football with Coach K every day at noon on your radio. And Coach K live on Facebook and YouTube at ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
There's a lot going on right now, and broadcasters are on the ground covering all of it, bringing you the weather, the traffic, and breaking news, all while entertaining you 24 hours a day. Someone needs to tell you what's going on around the world and in our hometowns, and that someone is us. We are free radio. We are always there.
We are broadcasters, your home for Pensacola sports, ESPN Pensacola 94.5.
What'd you do this time, Brad?
I'm in the doghouse after my hunting trip last weekend.
Yeah, I was too. I blew off our date for an FSU game.
How'd you get out of the doghouse?
Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa. I got her a gift card. It took 3 minutes at swmedspa.com. She booked it this Saturday.
Saturday? So 9 holes then?
Tee time's at 8.
To enjoy a hassle-free guys' weekend, let her relax at Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa. Visit swmedspa.com. Stillwater's Day in Medical Spa, voted Best Day Spa 8 years in a row.
ESPN Pensacola has you covered from the national and local levels. From Golic and Wingo to the Sports Drive, the Paul Feinbaum Show to Talk Football with Coach K, we have it all. It's the latest and best in sports talk radio, making us Pensacola's hometown sports network. ESPN Pensacola 94.5, also on HD Radio at HD2 98.7 WYCT, and streaming online at our website at ESPNpensacola.com.
Hello, sports fans. Miles Bentley here, General Manager at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Pensacola. Growing up, I always loved sports. Nothing but net, out of the park, through the uprights. Sink the puck Bentley, that was me. But my love of the game couldn't beat my love for Pensacola and helping folks get on the road of dreams in a new Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Sure, I never went to the big leagues in sport, but we're all pro here at Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Proud to be in Pensacola.
And welcome back, Sports Drive with you right here, ESPN Pensacola 94.5 and on Blab TV. Chad Brilliante with you here alongside Jordan Glass. And coming up here at 6:35, it is Blue Wahoos baseball as the Blue Wahoos taking on the Mississippi Braves. You can catch the action right here on your home for Blue Wahoos baseball if you want to kick your feet on a nice dugout there where, you've seen a word called the retirement planners right there.
Yeah.
John Steele, you might know that guy.
Yeah, the
good.
retirement planners. You can get a hold of me at 995-1999, 8001 North 9th Avenue, Pensacola, Florida.
Right?
Yeah.
Seen a couple of your signs down there.
I can't believe it. As much money as I spent on the Wahoos down there with my sign on the third base dugout, I get an email today from the president of the Wahoos organization saying, due to your great contributions and whatever, you're welcome to come down on, I think it's July 24th for appreciation night, and you can stay up in the the big area and all that kind of stuff, and we're going to feed you hot dogs and hamburgers.
Yeah.
For $22,000 a year that I donate to the Wahoos, I'm going to get a hot dog or a hamburger.
Well, no. But you get to ride in with Kazoo on the back of that truck.
I already know Kazoo. I've got dozens of baseballs autographed by Kazoo.
Yeah. My daughter loves Kazoo, and I went to the game and she was like, "Daddy, Daddy," and she ran right by me to Kazoo and then hugged the blue guy who gave him his hat. And we know Kazoo. But,
whichever one it is. Whichever it is.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's. What, do you know 100%? I wonder if we ask people on the streets, like one of those shows, what Kazoo actually is.
It's a musical instrument.
There you go, winner.
Dang,
you can't go wrong with that right there. Go purple dragonfish.
In the early days when I was out supporting
Blue
Wahoos,
dragonfish, by the way,
and spent more money than that. We put together a little group called the Silver Wahoos.
Oh,
Did you ever see them?
Yeah, they called a Yahoo.
They were 4 ladies. All of them had to be 80 or more. We put them in cheerleader outfits and had them doing cheers on the sidelines during the Wahoo games, for the retirement planners. They were the Silver Wahoos.
Well, they're off to a good start. We're wishing them the best as they get going against the Mississippi Braves. We'll have Chris Garagiola in a few minutes from now. I do want to say there's 3 teams in the NFL that make less than $2 billion. Cincinnati Bengals, the Detroit Lions, and the Buffalo Bills. John, they need to give you a call.
Yeah, they probably do. But but here's the thing, is what they need to do. Now, I'm going to be really totally honest. This is why I'm a cheesehead, okay? Is because, I lived in St. Louis, grew up in the St. Louis area, and I was a devout Cardinal follower, both baseball and football. Until a certain gentleman by the name of Bidwell took my football Cardinals in the middle of the night and moved them to Phoenix, Arizona. That burnt me bad. And then when the LA Rams came to town, and they made people pay for the right to even bid on a season ticket. We're in town long enough to run up the cost of a stadium, run up the season ticket prices, and then they book back to LA when they skinned everybody in St. Louis they could. So I take a look at the NFL and go, for as the fan goes, we fans don't count. Okay? And that burns me. Now, this is why I am a Green Bay Packers fan. All right? The Green Bay Packers is owned by the fans. It ain't moving out of where it is in Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Yes, and because they're owned, it gives us public knowledge on their numbers, which helps us know a private equity of how much they make.
Absolutely. And so, I've taken the tours up there, and I've had a lot of fun up at Lambeau Stadium. But something that's kind of interesting is because when I was in the Navy, I was stationed in Washington, D.C., worked at the National Security Agency, and one of the problems we used to have was all the Washington Redskin cheerleaders used to get hired to work at the National Security Agency on the 9th floor. The 9th floor is where all the GS-16, 17s, admirals, and generals work. Okay? All of the Washington Redskins cheerleaders. And they would compete as to who could dress the skimpiest. They were competing for jobs, position, money, whatever, maybe marry a general or something, I don't know. But in any event, but back then, there was kind of a joke that there was a long waiting list to be able to get a Redskins season ticket. Well, that was back during Joe Theismann and in the great times. Even back, it kind of really got started when Vince went there. I remember when Lombardi went to the Redskins? Okay. That's kind of what started kicking off that thing, because they thought that he would be there long enough to build the Redskins into the type of organization that the Packers were built into. Well, so back then, there was a joke, man. You couldn't, it was a 20, 30-year wait to buy a season ticket for the Redskins. And so I didn't even try because I was an enlisted man in the military. I couldn't afford one anyway. But then I go and start doing some research on this. The Green Bay Packers have the longest waiting list with more than 100,000 names waiting to buy a season ticket. The team's website says the wait is 30 years to buy a season ticket. I know, I've checked myself. It is a common custom in Green Bay and other Wisconsin cities to put a baby's name on the list as soon as the birth certificate is obtained. Transfer of standing to surviving relatives is permitted by the Packers. And I've tried to buy one share of stock. And I'm a stockbroker. And I can't get one.
Yeah.
The Washington Redskins were reported to have the longest waiting list with more than 150,000 names, but nobody believes that anymore. Okay? Now, back during the heyday, when it was the Redskins and Dallas and the Dolphins and, that battle was going on, they were extremely popular, and you couldn't get season tickets. But recently, let's see, in FedEx Field, they've removed 10,000 seats. That was back in 2011. And then, and they have also removed many upper deck sections, but claiming they have a long waiting list. Now, I get a kick out of this because when you go down through it, the teams that have waiting lists and those that don't. So what's that tell you if a team has a waiting list about their monetary situation?
That they've done a pretty good job of being able to cater to their fans.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if they got a waiting list, that tells me that monetarily their marketing is good and they're doing a good job. Okay, Arizona Cardinals, Mr. Bidwell, they have no waiting list.
Does it upset you, bringing to this next point off the topic of football, when people have a waiting list at a restaurant that has like 50 empty seats? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that always annoys me.
Oh, God, that is.
But, I finally had an old couple, clients of mine the other day, because one of my favorite places to eat at the beach, is Peg Leg Pete's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh, yeah.
I love to eat. How long's the wait?
Well, I found out that, I found a loophole. You go downstairs, and it's only half the menu, but you can go downstairs by the playground and get it about 20 minutes.
I had an older couple that are clients of mine give me a better loophole.
Really?
Yeah.
No, a pirate.
Now, you guys don't tell anybody, okay? So I'm swearing you to silence.
I'm into this.
So I don't want anybody else to know
every
this.
weekend.
Because
I was going to say,
you download Yelp for restaurants' waiting list. It used to be just called waiting list. Now Yelp owns it. You go to waiting list. And about an hour before you want to eat, you get on there at Peg Legs and put your name on the list. Now, this older couple, they've been doing this regular because they love to eat at Peg Legs. They eat there at least once a week, have for a couple of years. And they said, he says, now the problem is you got to learn to time it about right. He says, there's too many times that our notice comes up on Yelp and we ain't got there yet. So he says, usually 9 times out of 10, we either walk right in, or we can sit in the car until it comes up. We know our names there. Or you see, he says we've never had to wait more than 5 minutes at Peg Legs by using the Yelp app.
There we go.
So I'm glad that nobody else out there knows this.
No, except for the people you're telling now on air too. We could have done this off the.
I thought there was just the 3 of us here. I thought that's all there was.
If I see a bunch of people on Yelp now on their phones. 2 things I know.
He's on Yelp already.
I know we got some good listeners then. I was going to say, we made an impact here. If anything, John will get you the best financial advice, and he just showed how many people to get a head start on Peg Leg Pete's.
Yeah, and here's what's interesting, is you're going to get way ahead of everybody that doesn't listen to Sports Drive.
Gosh. Telling you, their fish chowder is amazing, by the way. While we're on this go.
Yeah, it is.
Try it. It's only $4.99. You get a piece of garlic bread too. Got to try that.
I really like their snapper.
Next time.
Yeah, everything they do. Everything about that place is perfect.
And the Atlanta Falcons have no waiting list. The Baltimore Ravens are up to 3,000, and the waiting list period is only 20 years.
Now, we can finish this show from Peg Leg Pete's if you guys want to just go.
We could do that.
I'm pretty hungry right now.
I'm gonna skip. There's none of these teams have a waiting list. The Buffalo Bills, the Carolina Panthers, the Bears, the Bengals, the Browns, the Cowboys, Broncos have 84,000 people on their waiting list, and the waiting list is about 15 years.
I've seen a waiting list for Browns.
Yeah, Green Bay Packers have a waiting list of 133,000. It's only 30 years. Only $2,100 for a season ticket. Now, here's the other thing: is the Green Bay Packers out of the NFL? They're number 20 in price for their season tickets, so they're very competitively priced at the same time. Houston Texans, 28,000. That's probably mostly illegals. Yeah.
That's right. Texans?
Huh? What? Now, here's one I can believe. Los Angeles Rams, no waiting list. Yeah, they just really ripped off St. Louis where I'm from. Dolphins, no waiting list. There's no reason to go watch the Dolphins anymore. Now, I used to enjoy it when you had Mercury Morris and you had, all...
1972.
The biggies.
Yeah.
Okay? The Vikings have no waiting list. Well, no, they have. Sure? They don't know the numbers, but it's only 1 year to get a season ticket.
Okay.
Patriots have 60,000 people on their waiting list, 15 years. New Orleans Saints have over 100,000 people on their waiting list for season tickets. And they don't know how long it is because nobody in New Orleans lives that long. It's a high-risk area. New York Giants have 70,000 on the waiting list. Philadelphia Eagles, 90,000 on the waiting list. Seattle Seahawks, 68,000. The Tennessee Titans, where my truck was built. People ask me, I'm driving a yellow 2017 Tennessee Titan XD 4-wheel drive diesel. And people say, well, where do they make Titans? I said, where do you think they make Titans? And he goes, what do you mean? Have you ever heard of a football team called the Tennessee Titans? And because Nissan built the plant there, built this truck there, and named it after that football team. So a lot of people don't know that, see? And I'm not even a Titan fan. You know, I'm a cheesehead. But anyway, so that's the waiting lists that are out there. The rest of the teams, nobody cares. There's no waiting list.
Yeah.
Nobody really cares.
That's amazing. I really did. I would love to see that college list, too. You know, around here in the SEC, I'm sure it's
Alabama, 1.5 million people on the list.
Yeah, between Alabama and Auburn and Florida and FSU and I think there's some guys over there in Louisiana, LSU or something like that.
Tigers,
them Tigers. They play football too.
We were the ones. My wife went to LSU, and we were the ones going into it was not it was Spring Hill Suite. Yeah. And it was 173 a night or whatever. Right when we got to the door, it jumped because we got there on a Thursday night for the Saturday crowd. It was A&M for Johnny Manziel. 173, and I saw the girl like move over the sign. 285. We were like we're like, you come on, like we're locals, and like, if you see some ID and they saw Florida, they're like 285, and I was like, you son of a, like they got us on that. They know because they knew we had to pay it. I mean, everybody's going to be in town, and they were one of the last ones to put that price up. But
I put my life on the line here. About 4 or 5 years ago, there was a game between Florida and LSU for, I forget, it was one of the playoff games or something. And my friend, my hunting and fishing buddy, is a big Florida fan. He's a Gator all the way around. I mean, he even looks green. Okay? So in any event, so we decided, I had a motorhome at the time, so we're going to take my motorhome. We're all going to pack up and go over to the game, do a little tailgate, and have a good time. And a neighbor of mine, him and his wife, both graduated from LSU. So I went over and borrowed a sweatshirt. I sit on the Gator side of the stadium in an LSU sweatshirt just to see what would happen. Yeah, I'm just one of those kind of guys. You know, I just wanted to see. Luckily, all the police came down at the end of the game with their guard dogs, you know, and protected me. I know that's the only reason that 100 police walked out on the field at the end of the game. I mean, you've seen that, haven't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess they don't really want anybody to tear down the goalposts.
No, they used to, but yeah, I think it's got out of. We did a show on that not too long ago about, you know, when it's right to charge the field or something like that. Like there's some moments, but now you get ranked teams against other teams that they're actually favored in the game by like 2.5 points that are running on the field, and you're like storming the court. Like, come on, guys. To me, it's more like, you know, if somebody was to beat UCF in football, but if somebody was to beat somebody that was, you know, if Citadel would have beat Alabama, and these guys have some military expertise, but they could have charged, even though it was in Tuscaloosa. Like, you can run on the field at your own risk, but, you know, that to me is a worthwhile. Appalachian State versus Michigan was that style is a sort of, you know, but not when you're a toss-up. Today kids just want to have a reason to party. You know, when people say hurricane parties, I'm like, have you seriously been in a real, or not tropical depression Steve party?
Oh, I thought you were just talking about that New Orleans drink.
Yeah, that's all good. Hey, a couple hurricanes and that's a party. I'm telling you that much. But John,
remember.
We got to go ahead and get out here. But we appreciate it. One more time, give everybody the number:
995-1999, 8001 North 9th Avenue, Pensacola, Florida. Come on over and we help you out.
John Steele, one of the best. You check him out right here. If you need the financial,
one of the best. I am the best.
That's right.
Best.
See, that's how you do it right there.
Hey,
you know,
there you go.
That's
I ain't out of the second. I ain't on the back bench.
Bless your heart, sir. Thanks for joining us on the Sports Drop.
When Jamie Stevens got out of the Navy in